Mayawati, born 15 January 1956, is an Indian politician and social reformer. She has served for separate terms as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. She is the national president of the Bahujan Samaj Party, which focuses on a platform of social changes for Bahujans, more commonly known as other backward caste, scheduled caste, and the scheduled tribes, as well as converted minorities from these castes. She was Chief Minister briefly in 1995 and again in 1997. Then from 2002 to 2003 and from 2007 to 2012. Mayawati rise from humble beginning has been called a miracle of democracy by P.V. Narasimha Rao, former Prime Minister of India. In 1993, Kanshi Ram formed a coalition with the Samajwadi Party and Mayawati became the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in 1995. She was the first female scheduled caste Chief Minister in India. In 1997 and in 2002, she was Chief Minister with outside support from the Bharatiya Janata Party. The second time only for a year up to 26 August 2003 due to BJP withdrawing support. Mayawati's tenure had attracted praise and criticism. Millions of Dalits across India view her as an icon and refer to her as Bahanji. She has been praised for her fundraising effort on behalf of her party, and her birthday have been widely celebrated by her supporters. The rise in her personal wealth and that of her party have been criticized as indicative of corruption. After losing the 2012 Legislative Assembly election to the rival Samajwadi Party, she resigned from her post as party leader on 7 March 2012. Later that month, she was elected to the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of Indian Parliament. Early life and education. Mayawati was born on 15 January 1956 at Shrimati Sucheta Kraplani Hospital, New Delhi, into a Dalit family of Jatav caste. Her father Prabhu Das was a post office employee at Badalpur, Gautam Budh Nagar. The sons in the family were sent to private schools, while the daughters went to low performing government schools. Mayawati studied for her BA in 1975 at the Kalandi College, University of Delhi, and obtained her LLB from the prestigious Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, 1983. She completed a B.Ed from Meerut University's VMLG College, Ghaziabad in 1976. She was working as a teacher in Indrapuri JJ Colony, Delhi, and studying for the Indian Administrative Services exam. When scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other backward caste politician Kashi Ram visited her family in 1977, according to biographer Ajay Bose. Ram told her, "I can make you such a big leader one day that not one but a whole row of IAS officer will line up for your orders." Kashiram included her as a member of his team when he founded the Bahujan Samaj Party in 1984. Mayawati was first elected to parliament in 1989. Early political career. Kanshi Ram founded the BSP in 1984. Influenced by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chief architect of the Constitution of India. The party's primary focus is to improve the situation of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other disadvantaged groups through policy reform, affirmative action on hiring of members of scheduled caste for government posts, and providing rural development programs. Reservation in India is a system whereby a percentage of government position and seats of universities are reserved for persons of backward classes and scheduled caste and tribes. Throughout her political career, Mayawati supported reservation in both government and private sector for backward classes, with an increase in quotas and inclusion of more communities such as religious minorities and economically weak upper castes. In August 2012, a bill was cleared that starts the process of amending the constitution so that the reservation system can be expanded to promotion in state jobs. Mayawati's career has been called a miracle of democracy by former Prime Minister of India P.V. Narasimha Rao. Millions of Dalit supporters view her as an icon and refer to her as Behanji. Her public meetings have been attended by large audiences who use slogans such as Kashi Ram ka mission adhura करेगी बहन मायावती पूरा. काशी राम्स unfulfilled mission will be completed by Mayawati and बहन जी तुम संघर्ष करो हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं. Sister go ahead with your struggle, we are with you. In its first election campaign in 1984, Bsp fielded Mayawati for the Lok Sabha lower house seat of Kairana in the Muzaffarnagar district, for Bijnor in 1985 and for Haridwar in 1987. In 1989, she was elected as the representative for Bijnor with 183,189 votes, winning by 8879 votes. Although Bsp did not win control of the House, the electoral experience led to considerable activity for Mayawati over the next 5 years, as she worked with Masood Ahmed and other organizers. The party won 3 seats in the 1989 national election and 2 seats 1991. Mayawati was first elected to the Rajya Sabha upper house of Uttar Pradesh UP in 1994. In 1995, she became, as head of her party, chief minister in a short-lived coalition government, the youngest chief minister in the history of the state up until that point, and the first female Dalit chief minister in India. She won election to the Lok Sabha in two different constituencies in 1996 and chose to serve for Harora. She became chief minister again for a short period in 1997 and then from 2002 to 2003 in coalition with the Bharatiya Janata Party. In 2001, Ram named her as his successor to the party leadership. Bsp President Ship on 15 December 2001 in an address during a rally in Lucknow, Kansiram named Mayawati as his successor. She was elected national president of the BSP for her first term on 18 September 2003. She was elected unopposed for a second consecutive term on 27 August 2006, for a third term on 30 August 2014, and for fourth term on 28 August 2019. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. As the Chief Minister, Mayawati gained a reputation for efficient governance and promoting law and order, winning praise even from opposition parties and other rivals. In 2007, MLA Umakant Yadav of her own political party, accused in a land grabbing case, was arrested near her dwelling on her orders. During September October 2010, at the time of the Ayodhya verdict, her government maintained law and order and the state remained peaceful. Several high profile criminals and mafia dons were jailed during her terms in office. She called for strong anti rape laws, fewer rights, lowest rapes, and least corruption occurred during her tenure as compared to previous or successive government. In the 2007-2012 assembly, only 1 to 4 MLA were crorpatis as compared to 271 crorpatis in successive assembly. Elected in 2012, Uttar Pradesh achieved higher GDP growth rate at 17% and lesser crimes under Mayawati regime as compared to previous and successive government. Political and legal issues. Mayawati's political career has attracted praise and controversy. She has been praised for her fundraising efforts on behalf of her party, and her birthdays were major media events as well as a symbol for her supporters. The increase in her personal wealth and that of her party have been viewed by critics as sign of corruption. Taj Corridor. In 2002, the government of Uttar Pradesh began improvement of the infrastructure in the Taj Heritage Corridor, the important tourist area in Agra that includes the Taj Mahal. The project was soon riddled with problems, including funds being released for the project without the submission of the required detailed project report to the environmental authorities. Suspecting there were financial irregularities as well, the Center Bureau of Investigation raided 12 residences, including Mayawati's. It had filed a first information report against her and seven other 2 days earlier. The raid uncovered evidence of assets disproportionate to her known income. Afterward, Mayawati resigned from her own government to prove that she was not hungry for power. She asked the BJP run government of India to remove Union Tourism and Culture Minister Jagmohan for conspiring this all controversy against her. In June 2007, Governor T.V. Rajeshwar said that there was insufficient evidence to prosecute her. In his 23 pages order, he said the fact that the Mission Management Board, consisting of officers of both the state and the central government, regularly meet and discussed the project, and the fact that even a sum of rupees 17 crore was spent through the Central Government Public Sector Undertaking NPCC. All go to show that the serious offences with which Mayawati and the minister were charged don't stand scrutiny. Advocates unsuccessfully challenged the governor's decision in court. The Supreme Court rejected the plea of the CBI and refused to direct the governor to prosecute her. The Taj Corridor case was effectively ended before going to trial. Disproportionate assets case. In the 2007-8 assessment year, Mayawati paid an income tax of 26 crore, ranking among the top 20 taxpayers in the country. Earlier, the CBI filed a case against her for owning assets disproportionate to her known sources of income. Mayawati described the CBI investigation against her as illegal. Her party asserted that her income comes from gifts and small contributions made by party workers and supporters. On 3 August 2011, the Delhi High Court dismissed the central government's appeal against Mayawati, stating that she has fully discharged her obligations by disclosing the identities of all her donors. The gifts had been donated by her supporters. The central government decided not to file an appeal in the Supreme Court. On 13 March 2012, Mayawati revealed assets worth 111.26 crore in an affidavit filled with her nomination papers for the Rajya Sabha. Disproportionate assets case was finally quashed on 6 July 2012, 9 years later, by a Supreme Court bench of Justice P. Sivam and Deepak Mishra. The court found that the case was unwarranted based on an opinion received from Directorate of Prosecution. The CBI decided not to file an appeal. On 4 October 2012, a review petition was filed by Kamlesh Verma contending that the case had been dismissed merely on technical ground and that the evidence had not been adequately reviewed. On 8 August 2003, the Supreme Court declined a request to reopen the case after seeking legal advice. The CBI finally closed their file on 8 October 2013. Bahujan Monuments. In her tenure as a chief minister, Mayawati commissioned the production and public display of several monuments, having parks, galleries, museum, memorial, murals, and statues representing Buddhist and Hindu Dalit OBC icons like Gautam Buddha, गजे महाराज, संत रविदास, संत कबीर, नारायण गुरु, ज्योतिराव फूले, छत्रपति साहूजी महाराज, बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर, BSP party founder Kansi Ram, and of herself. She claims that the expenditure was required because the past government did not show respect towards Dalit leaders, in whose memory nothing had ever been built. She spent somewhere between 25 and 60 billion rupees on projects in 5 parks and at memorials such as Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Samajik Parivartan Sthal and Manyavar Kashiram Smarak Sthal. Built in the name of B.R. Ambedkar, Ramabai Ambedkar, and Kashi Ram in Lucknow between 2007 and 2009. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India reported that 66 crore in excessive cost had been incurred on the construction of the memorials. In February 2010, Mayawati's government approved a plan for a special police force to protect the statue, as she feared that her political opponent might demolish them. In December 2010, her government received permission to continue part of the plan, namely maintenance and completion of Ambedkar Memorial Park. Literature about Mayawati includes studies and books. One of the first works about her was journalist Muhammad Jamil Akhtar's book, Iron Lady Kumari Mayawati. Her autobiographies are mere संघर्ष में जीवन अवाम बहुजन मूवमेंट का सफ़रनामा इन 3 volumes in Hindi and a travelogue of my struggle, riddle, life and of Bahujan Samaj in 2 volumes in English. Behenji, a political biography of Mayawati, is a biography by veteran journalist Ojoy Bose. Award and recognition. In 2003, Mayawati, as the Chief Minister, was awarded with Paul Harris Fellow Award by UNICEF, World Health Organization, and Rotary International for her initiative in polio eradication. Mayawati was also honored with Raj Rishi Shahu Award by Raj Rishi Shahu Memorial Trust in 2008. Forbes added Mayawati in the 59th places on its list of 100 most powerful women in the world. She appeared in Newsweek's Top Women Achievers list in 2007. In 2009, a Newsweek article described her as the Barack Obama of India and a potential candidate for Prime Minister. Time magazine included Mayawati in India's 15 most influential list for 2007.